Hello friends, add 1 pound or 450 grams of ground beef. Crack in 2 eggs. Add 1 teaspoon of salt. 1 teaspoon of black pepper. 1 teaspoon of paprika. 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. And 1 tablespoon of mustard. Now, finely chop a bunch of fresh parsley. Friends, it's wonderful to know where you're watching from. Share your city and country, and US friends, tell me your state as well. As I do this, I always think of my grandmother's kitchen. She would add parsley to almost everything. It adds not only flavor, but a little brightness to every dish. Add it to the bowl. Mix everything together with your hands. Using your hands helps the ingredients blend more naturally. Just be gentle, we want it combined, not compacted. Now, in a frying pan, add a little vegetable oil. Melt a quarter of a stick or 30 grams of butter. Once melted, finely chop 1 onion. I love using onion in so many dishes. It's full of antioxidants and nutrients that support heart health, digestion, and even help reduce inflammation. It's one of those ingredients that's been used in family kitchens for generations. I still remember the sound of onions sizzling in my grandmother's cast iron pan. That smell always meant something delicious was coming. Friends, for more content like this, make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so you don't miss any new recipes. Add it in and let it soften gently. As the onion cooks, it releases a sweet aroma and melts into the base of the dish. It's the foundation of flavor. Next, finely chop 1 bell pepper. Did you know that bell peppers are full of vitamin C, even more than oranges? They're also rich in antioxidants, like beta-carotene and lycopene. They help support immune health and add a burst of color that makes any dish more inviting. I love how their sweetness comes through when they're sautéed. Add it to the pan and stir until well combined. Now chop 1 carrot. I always enjoy this part. The bright orange color reminds me of cooking with my mother as a child, especially in the fall when carrots were fresh from the garden. Carrots bring gentle sweetness, and they're packed with beta-carotene, which our bodies convert into vitamin A, great for vision, skin, and the immune system. Add it to the pan and cook everything together for another few minutes. Once the vegetables are softened, add them to the bowl with the ground beef mixture. Then add 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. The flour helps bind everything together so the patties hold their shape when baked, especially important when we're adding sautéed vegetables. Mix everything well with a spoon. I always find this part peaceful, slowly folding the ingredients together and watching the mixture come to life. You'll see it go from loose and separate to something cohesive and full of color. It's a quiet but satisfying step, and it reminds me of how my mother always said, "Good food comes from taking your time." Now, in a pot, pour in water. Gently place 2 eggs. Bring it to a boil and cook for 7 to 10 minutes. Once cooked, cool them under cold water and peel them. Grate the boiled eggs on a medium grater. Boiled eggs add a creamy, delicate texture and a mild, comforting flavor. They're also a great source of protein, vitamin D, and healthy fats. Grating them makes the mixture more uniform and helps everything blend smoothly. No large chunks, just gentle richness in every bite. Transfer to a bowl. Then grate 3 ounces or 100 grams of cheese, any semi-hard cheese you like. As I grate the cheese, I always think of my childhood, standing on a little stool in the kitchen, helping my mom with the grater while she prepared dinner. The smell of fresh cheese always meant something warm and homemade was coming soon. Add it to the same bowl. Now grate 1 to 2 cloves of garlic using a mini grater. Grating garlic brings out more flavor and helps it mix evenly without leaving strong chunks. Add it to the egg and cheese. Add 3 tablespoons of mayonnaise. 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of pepper. Mix everything well. The mixture should be creamy but hold its shape. Now, on a sheet of parchment paper, shape the meat mixture into a rectangle about ½ inch thick. This part always brings back memories of family dinners. When shaping food by hand felt like crafting something special. I remember watching my grandmother do this with such care, making sure every corner was just right. Spread the egg and cheese mixture evenly over the top. Now, thinly slice 1 pickled cucumber. Lay the slices down the center of the filling. Carefully roll the meat around the filling, like a large cutlet. Use the parchment paper to help shape it without breaking. It's simple, but there's something calming about it. Like you're putting a bit of love into every step. Take a baking dish and brush the bottom with a little vegetable oil. This helps prevent sticking and adds just a bit of crispness to the base. Place the meat rolls in the baking dish. Bake at 180 degrees Celsius or 360 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes. While that bakes, in a pot, add 3 peeled potatoes. Cover with water. Add 1 teaspoon of salt. Cover with a lid and boil for 15 minutes or until soft. While the potatoes are cooking, finely chop 3 mushrooms. Mushrooms add a savory depth and blend beautifully with the creamy texture of potatoes. They're naturally rich in umami, that deep earthy flavor that makes dishes feel hearty and satisfying. Mushrooms are also a good source of B vitamins and minerals like selenium, which support the immune system. In a frying pan, melt 1/4 of a stick or 30 grams of butter. Add the mushrooms and sauté until golden and soft. When they sautéed in butter, they develop a golden color and a slightly nutty aroma that makes the mashed potatoes feel even more special. Once the potatoes are ready, drain and transfer them to a large bowl. Mash them until smooth. Add the sautéed mushrooms. Now grate 60 grams of Parmesan. Add it to the potatoes. Finely chop a bunch of green onions and add them in too. Mix everything together. The warmth of the potatoes melts the cheese slightly, and the green onion adds a fresh, gentle bite. In a small bowl, mix 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, 20 milliliters of soy sauce, ½ tablespoon of mustard. Stir until smooth. Take the baking dish out of the oven. Brush the sauce over the top of the meat rolls. Then sprinkle with a little soft cheese. Place back in the oven for another 10 minutes. When it's done, take it out of the oven and let it rest for just a few minutes. The aromas filling the kitchen will tell you it's worth the wait. Then gently transfer the rolls to a plate. Add a generous scoop of the creamy mushroom mashed potatoes and take a moment to admire what you've made. The golden crust, the melted cheese, the steam rising from the soft filling. It's the kind of meal that feels like a hug on a plate. Thank you so much for cooking with me today. I hope this recipe brings as much warmth and joy to your home as it does to mine. Until next time, happy cooking!